Ready?
Zaxxon's Motherbase 2000 is an isometric shmup released for the Sega 32x in 1995. Despite the title, the game actually has nothing to do with the classic arcade series, and the Zaxxon name was simply tacked on for the US release. Motherbase 2000 actually has much more in common with the Neo Geo title Viewpoint, which also features the isometric perspective. While Viewpoint used sprites to simulate three-dimensional enemies, Motherbase 2000 takes the next logical step. Your ship, the enemies, and the bosses are all 3D flat-shaded polygons. The Sega 32x didn't last very long in the marketplace, so it's really great to see developers were willing to push the 32x hardware and try new things. The 3D models are very colorful, and all of them are fully animated. There are also stationary objects like towers and roadblocks rendered in 3D and must be destroyed. 3D objects like bridges collapse in real time. Some of the enemies are huge, complicated models that take up nearly the whole screen. The third boss in the game even morphs into a different shape, like a transformer. These are things that are really suited well for polygons and wouldn't work the same with sprites. The backgrounds are all pre-rendered. The 3D and 2D elements blend together and complement each other quite nicely. The only real downside to the graphics is the frame rate. As more and more enemy ships fill the screen, the game starts dropping frames. In a fast-paced shooting game like this, it becomes difficult to tell what is coming at you and from where, which can be frustrating. The second gimmick is the weapon system. Rather than traditional weapon upgrades, Motherbase 2000 features the ability to hack into enemy ships. Enemies that have a red docking port on top are hackable, and you simply jump on them to initiate the hack. Taking over enemy crafts will give you access to their speed, primary attack, and secondary attack if they have one. Additionally, after a few seconds, you learn their weapon system, which is remembered after detaching. These enemy ships can also take some damage, extending your life. Motherbase 2000 does a few things really well. I like the overall art direction of the entire adventure. Most of the enemies resemble insects, which is a really cool theme to play with. The fourth level, which takes place over water, features a robotic salmon run and flying robots in the sky. The enemy designs are really creative, and it's fun to progress through the game and see what things the designers came up with, and then hack those creations. I really enjoyed the soundtrack in Motherbase 2000, though parts of this are lifted right from Viewpoint. Each level has a couple of its own music tracks that mix techno, hip-hop, and classic gaming rhythms to create something that is fast-paced and fits the futuristic tone well. The sound effects can be a bit lackluster though. The crashing and firing noises are all average at best. For as cool as Motherbase 2000 is, there are actually a lot of problems. In addition to the game dropping frames, your rate of fire will drastically decrease when there is too much on the screen at once. This wouldn't be a problem if the enemies slow down as well, but they don't. They keep moving quickly. Consistency in firing rate is a big deal and something that should be correct. The hacking can be problematic as well. Sometimes you think you are jumping onto an enemy, but they move, and you get hit instead. Since you die in a single hit, you often burn through a few lives due to the game's inconsistencies. There is a sloppiness here that is unappealing. Generally speaking, Motherbase 2000 isn't all that fun to play. Once you get past the game's gimmicks, there is just a substandard shmup lurking beneath. Overall, Motherbase 2000 is a very optimistic game with a ton of good ideas, but it mostly misses the mark. The levels are varied and interesting, the insectoid enemies look great, and I give the developers kudos for actually using the 32x to put polygons on the screen. I just wish the game was more fun and polished. 2 out of 5.